What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area.
I don't know what else to say, man.
We're through the looking glass here, people. The Rand Corporation is in conjunction with Reverse Vampires to take away all of our favorite players from the ice. We're going to talk about the upcoming game against the Capitals and where the Sharks go from here. Spoiler, down.
Or up, depending on how you look at things.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, Kyle Demetrius. Back with me, as always, his co-host, JD, the oblique strain to my forearm surgery.
Well, one of us always bounces back. The other just appears for 6 weeks at a time.
Who knew you could just have a forearm injury and nobody knew, and then you had surgery on it? What a world we live in.
I, too, would like to... the enthusiasm of the San Jose Sharks in the day-to-day on every single injury...
Why do they refuse to tell us that somebody's hurt ever? Like, you can just say he's hurt. We know that, like, when Joe Thornton has off-season knee surgery, we know that he's hurt. You can just say it. You don't have to pretend.
When you literally see Radim Shimmick's knee blow out on the ice, you know he's hurt. You don't need to.
You can see the exact moment where his heart rips in half, and he's day-to-day. It's just Erik Karlsson is out until he'll be reevaluated mid-March after having forearm surgery. I don't know what kind of weird, janky surgery that is, but
we'll know because our other previous with the groin injury, we'll know if Melinda's pregnant soon. We'll know if something's really up. I'm just, the torn groin.
Well, no, because he had a thumb surgery or hand surgery last year. Remember?
Yeah,
at the end of the season.
That was. I mean, you saw the actual puck like hit his thumb on that one, but. This one, nobody can figure out the exact moment. So
I just don't understand.
If you don't laugh, you
like
just continually cry.
Just like tore his forearm. I just don't understand how he can be out like a couple weeks ago with an oblique or upper body, whatever it was, some injury, and then they're like, yeah, he's kind of hurt again, and then all of a sudden they're like, haha, just kidding, he's getting reevaluated.
Haha, he already had surgery.
Yeah, they just out of nowhere today. The Sharks are like, he had surgery. Good.
Yeah.
You see him in mid-March. So I don't really understand why the Sharks can't just why they can't just tell us one time, hey, he's having problems with his arm, or hey, maybe a lingering injury, instead of we have to piece it together like we're weird Zodiac killer detectives. Also, I bought a ring light. I submitted to our corporate overlords.
That's the biggest news of the day.
You got the corporate cock ring that is a ring light for all YouTube content creators. I didn't feel good about it. I also bought a cheap one, so
it's only got half your face.
Oh,
but yeah, it's brutal because I mean, just how great Karlsson's been playing this year, and
yeah, he's been like their third best player.
Yeah, and it's just. We wanted Ryan Merkley to play more, and this is a very monkey's paw. This is not the first time we've had the monkey's paw where it's like, hey, this guy should play more, and then somebody else gets hurt for him too.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet that it's okay because the Sharks have some more depth, like when Mids gets back, and I was like, well, one of those two things is not like the other. Do you think Knizhov is still day-to-day?
Yes, officially.
Where's the update on Knizhov? I would like to know where
he's actually just having his legs replaced with robotic legs, but they don't want to tell us that.
Well, when was the last time we got a Knizhov update?
A couple weeks ago, I think Shang asked. So,
really?
Yeah. What's
you
up?
Should put on your capital J journalist hat and get back in there and ask a question.
I think he asked around the same time Karlsson got hurt and missed some time then. They asked like, hey, what's up? And there's no update on him. So I would actually be surprised if we actually even see Knizhov at any point this season.
He could be dead. We don't know.
Yeah. And then, I mean, so do we see Erik Karlsson back this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
so he'll get back.
They have a bunch of games. They have like 15 games in April or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, logically, hold on, Matt, let's map this out. If the Sharks are still lurking, and I do this in big air quotes, if the Sharks still think they're in the playoff race, but everybody with a brain like last year could see that they're not, they're going to bring them back, right?
Yep.
But I think the smart thing would do just be like, you're done. And then just get healthy and come back next year. Because think about last year when he got shut down and had the full offseason and everything like that. Look how good he was playing this year. So they just get another one of those going.
Well, he didn't get shut down last year. He was fine last year, but the year before, yeah, where he broke his thumb.
Everything's blending together.
Yes, it's been one long, just atrocious season. But yeah, and especially because then this now you have to play Ryan Merkley, right? That's the one.
Hold on. Do you? Or is Bob gonna play like Dalton Prout? Remember when Dalton Prout played one game?
Poor guy, concussions. Just, but and then what's Clayson doing? Can the Lightning bring him back?
Clayson? I don't think he actually ever appeared in a game, did he?
No, he played. He played a couple games with the Sharks, but yeah,
did he?
Yeah, he's on the Lightning now. Good for him. So,
yeah, they traded him for Big Chungus.
Yeah. What?
I just don't. Your third, fourth, and let's be honest here. Let's just put this out there. If you look at the Sharks and say, I don't like Erik Karlsson this season or whatever, you're just being a hater for no reason. He was good this year.
Yes.
Doesn't matter any two ways you slice it. He was good this year. So losing a player who is playing that well and is one of the few bright spots on a ship that is increasingly full of holes and sinking.
Yes.
It's going to suck. Like, I just don't know. So now your defense is Ferraro Burns, which has not been good.
Nope.
What's the second pair?
Magna Merkley.
Okay, Magna. Oh my god! And then the third player is Vlasic Šimik, I guess.
Yes.
And then you mix in Jacob Middleton.
He
would probably take the spot of Magna.
Yes.
So now you've got Ferraro Burns, Middleton Merkley, Vlasic Šimik.
Yep.
Or some combination of those guys. Do you think that is an NHL or no? Do you think that's an NHL caliber defense? First, second, do you think that's a playoff caliber defense?
Negative Ghost Rider. That is not very good. So especially, yeah, because there's. I mean, like we both really like Merkley, right? But I mean, he's still
a baby.
Rookie. Yes, he's still a rookie. He's still got to go through those learning curves and stuff like that. And we think Merkley's going to be a good player down the line, but. What part of that just like excites you on that offense? On that
not a lot, but what does excite me? Built Bars, baby.
Oh yeah.
You know why? Because they're covered in 100% real chocolate. So that way, when you pull out your Built Bar, you're not like, oh, it's like that gross mint chocolate protein bar that tastes like wax or is very chemically. I hate that. When you go to think you get like a peanut butter flavored protein bar and you bite into it and it's like, this tastes like it came out of Pfizer. This is gross. Not going to happen with Built Bar, especially because they also have really good flavors. Not only are they covered in chocolate, but they have all the flavors you want. Coconut brownie, my favorite. JD's favorite, cherry barcia. They have double chocolate if you're that guy or that girl, that person, that human being. You can get peanut butter, all sorts of flavors. They have tons of random holiday flavors or limited time flavors. Like there's like a caramel apple, there's like a key lime pie situation going on. There's a raspberry marshmallow. All good, all different flavors. So always check out built.com for new flavors. Easter's coming up. Peeps flavor, I'm telling you. They've got to listen to us. That would be a lot of people's favorites. Not a Peeps guy personally, but I would probably have a Peeps Built Bar just to say that I had it. How many Peeps Built Bars can you put in your mouth at one time? That could be the challenge. But if you do punch a bunch of Built Bars in your mouth at one time, it's okay. Because most Built Bars only contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Compare that to your standard issue chocolate bar. It usually has 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens upon dozens of net carbs. So get rid of all those unhealthy snacks, all those unhealthy chocolate bars, and switch to Built Bars. They taste good, and they're good for you, especially if it's new year, new me, trying to work out. Just add it to your repertoire. So go to Built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, which is down here if you're watching, and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Yeah, I know. The restream thing is really weird. Yeah, so the defense sucks. It's just not going to be great, especially because Brent Burns is not having a good season. Yeah, Father Time's got him on the ropes. He's like, he gave him like a 1-2. Brent Burns is a little woozy, and he gave him like that liver shot, and he's like, oh god, that's what's happening right now. Ferraro not having a great season. We're not saying Ferraro was bad. Settle down, everybody. Just he's not having a great season, probably because the team is bad. Burns is falling off a cliff or whatever. He's probably gonna be better next year, but he's not having a great season. Vlasic not having a good end to his career.
No.
Radim Šimić is what he is. Megna is just a guy. Merkley is a child, and hopefully he plays 21 minutes a night now. Middleton, this is the test, buddy. You won't be able to fly. If you are who you thought we were, you cannot be let off the hook to the rest of the season.
Yeah, and especially because the offense is struggling so much to just score and transition and stuff like that. And Erik Karlsson is such a huge part of their transition game. And yeah. I mean, I know their but Kyle, their record is 5-3 without Karlsson. It's like, I don't care. Like, you could just watch the games and be like, watch the game against the Lightning, and they got boat raced because anytime there was any sort of pressure by the forecheck, the Sharks, they just struggle with that transition, getting out of the zone, and just that simple thing. That's where Karlsson's wizardry is great, because he's one of the few guys on the team who could actually get it out of his own zone without it just being like a
off the glass and out, baby. The Radim Šimić story.
So,
yeah, no, 5-3, great. You've played 8 games. I would like to ask who those 8 games were against.
That was their COVID, the baby Cuda, the Shark Cuda time. Most of those. So
yeah. So I think they played like Columbus in there and stuff. It doesn't matter. And this is the problem too, is that when you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on Wednesday, they're gearing up for a 4:00 game against the Washington Capitals, who are good. They're like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're like the 8th best team.
Yeah,
roughly. They have 55 points. I don't know. You thought Tampa might be the best team in the league, right?
I'd say Florida is the best team in the league right
Florida,
now.
but Tampa's right there, right? Tampa's in that, and they're 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. Washington's not that much worse.
No, it's not like
Alex Ovechkin is leading the league in goals at 29. You're like, this is the problem. This is the problem. Where did the Sharks go from here? I don't know how they can go anywhere but down after having basically one line that's doing anything. Yep. B, now losing Erik Karlsson.
Yep.
And C, a coach who just seemingly has no answers.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
We talked yesterday about the Tomas Hertl thing, and we were, kind of prefaced it with if they, as much as I think that's just the path you have to go. Now you got a resurgent year out of Karlsson, and it's, and that's been the thing with him is these injuries, these little injuries and stuff like that. And, it's a forearm injury, and it shouldn't be like a lingering thing like a knee or something like that, or his groin, but it's just another thing to add to it. And as much as we love Karlsson, you hope every year is if we can get 65 games out of Karlsson, that's considered a good year. And, it's are we sure Karlsson's going to be this good next year?
No, we're not
hopefully.
Sure of anything. Yeah, hopefully, but who knows? Yeah, that's the problem. Speaking of Tomas Hertl, who could use Tomas Hertl?
Who would that be?
The Washington Capitals.
They
don't really have.
They got nothing. Yeah. That's the problem.
Well, they have Connor McMichael, but he's on their second line right now. So they line up Alex Ovechkin, Nick Backstrom, Connor Sherry. No, the Sharks shouldn't have signed Connor Sherry 2 years ago. Who gives a shit? He wouldn't have made the Sharks better. He's Connor Sherry. Mm-hmm. Just relax, everybody. Second line, Connor McMichael, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and Tom Wilson. Third line, Alexei Protas, whoever that is, Lars Eller, Brett Leeson. Then they have Carl Hagelin, Nick Dowd, Garnet Hathaway on their fourth line. It's a good lineup. Defense, Martin I don't know how to say this guy's last name. Martin Fairvary. I don't really know how to say his name. I know who that is, though. He's paired with John Carlson, then Dmitry Orlov with Justin Schultz, and then Michael Kempney with Trevor Van Riemsdyk. And in net, they roll out there.
Matt Irwin's still kicking around. Sorry.
Vita Vanacek and Ilya Samsonov. Yeah, so TJ Oshie is day-to-day, so he could be back. Anthony Mantha's on the IR, which is two big pieces of the thing. Matt Irwin's on this team?
Yeah, I think he's their seventh defenseman. He's good.
Matt Irwin, eh? Sharks legend.
Yes.
How do you look at the Sharks team and look at their last couple games and then look at this Washington team and go, yep, got a shot?
Yeah, I mean it's been brutal, and it's just, I think this Erik Karlsson news is just I think the final nail, because I was still in the like, well, but now I think this Erik Karlsson news is the coffin and the nail, the final nail.
Coffin and the nail?
The coffin and it's both. It's you use the coffin to hammer the nail into a larger coffin. But it's just, you use the coffin of Sharks seasons past. But yeah, there's like, where do the Sharks have an advantage? Just where?
Maybe the third line, because I don't know who Alexei Protas is, and Brett Leason's the rookie.
But
then
again,
Nick Menino had no points through like 17 games, had 4 goals in like 5 games, and now he's got 3 points in 15 games, something like that. Dude,
and Bob Bugner literally just said this third line has been bad. They need to do better. Like 2 days ago.
What is the third line, Bob? I would like you to point out. I would like you to give me a clear definition of who's on the third line here.
Well, I mean, we don't even know, because Rudy should be back, so we'll have the full Rudy Barabanov at some point. So he's expected to be back off the COVID list for this game. And so, I mean, I'm based on practice reports, they kind of went back to the Barabanov back on the Hertl line. So that lived a whole 12 minutes. And then I would assume it'll probably be Couture, Rudy, and Dahlin. And then, probably Gregor on the third line, and maybe you slide Cogliano down, because Cogliano seems to be the guy who's been on the fourth line. So
it'll be Gregor, Bonino,
and Nieto,
and then Cogliano,
Weatherby, and then Pierre Veal, Raska, Gadovich, I think, and Gadovich is also is back too. So
is it bad that one of the bright spots is Veal Raska? Do you think Adam Raska is in line for the Calder? Got some odds.
If he was in line for the Calder and he won that, somebody would be like a multi-billionaire if they place odds on that. But if there's anywhere to place odds on that, that would be our friends over at Bet Online. So Bet Online would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. New year and a new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON to get started. From football, basketball, hockey, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Reimer and Hill are going to die.
Poor.
Just in their face.
It's going to
I'm not... Also, I'm not mad. Like, the Sharks are bad. I've always been the Sharks are bad. Like, this is just pushing them into like, hey, guys, maybe be bad.
Yeah. And if you can... I mean, we know we both think the Sharks are going to get freaking rolled this game, but like... where like this could be a potential for them to kind of get that new core, right? So if they do trade Hertl and they go with one of the guys that we talked about yesterday, if you haven't listened to yesterday's podcast, you really should, because it's one of our best podcasts I think we've ever done. The content boys provided the content yesterday. But then if you get a top tier prospect, you've got Eklund coming over next year. And then if you get another top 10 pick this year, you're starting to see your formations of your new core, and then you get your 2020 guys coming in, and your Bordelos and your Gushins and all those guys start to make an impact here in the next year or two. That's when you see this new core start to form. But again, it doesn't matter if you have all these guys coming in who are like we like the 2020 draft class, but none of these guys are like that game-breaking talent, right? And that's where the Sharks still need to find that other game-breaking talent to pair with Eklund. You can't just have Eklund by himself.
Timo Meier.
No, Timo Meier, but like
he's going to be leading the new core. He's going to be
leading the new core. Yes, but like we would still like to have someone, someone else to partner with.
Someone 7 years younger than him. Yeah.
Yes.
His team was like 26 or whatever. So
25. Is he 25? Anyway, so yeah, he's, I mean, we like Timo. We think he's worthy of being part of the next core, but you don't want to just have Timo and Eklund. Like you want to diversify.
Yeah, you want to keep building it up and have you want to have the problem of having too many good people than rather than not enough. Like when the Sharks would always trade at the deadline for your Nyquist and your Garins and your Campbells and whatever, you're having too many good players. Like that's what you want to get to. And I think this fake pussyfooting around with the playoffs this year was like, why? What?
I understand. Like
also ESPN. Relax. A good team teetering on the edge of a great team. Like
that teeter just went
like maybe watch a Sharks game with Shinsky, you absolute hack. Like
just
because he lived here for 2 years. I don't get it. I don't understand where a great team teetering on or a good team teetering on the edge of a great team is in here. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, sorry, I had to get off that. I don't like it.
Down the cliff. But yeah, it's so I think that's where we will be your Sherpas, do the tank. So
yeah, we're not mad.
We're continue our tankathon watch right now.
I'm not mad, I'm laughing.
Yes, because if you're not, you'll be crying.
It is what it is, and I think the problem here is that, like, for me personally, is that I don't see how they become like a contending team or whatever right now, and so they're stuck in this like we can make the playoffs and anything can happen, even though that doesn't happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like I think I was stuck in there, but like if they want to be bad and get another good pick and then try again next year, like I'm okay with that. It happens. Like it's. Do you think, before we leave here, do you think the Karlsson injury affects Hertl's decision to stay or go? Do you think it adds to the snowball, or do you think this is just a thing that happened and it doesn't matter?
I think it adds to the snowball, and it's like, because if they wanted to, if Hertl wants to win, right, and if they wanted to be a playoff team, you're taking out, like you said earlier, probably their third best player, and the Sharks aren't very talent laden as it is right now, so that's a big Jenga piece that you're pulling out and of the Sharks, and you've started at the beginning of the year before even. So if you think about the pieces that they've lost, right? So Evander Kane, I mean, they going into the season, he was a big part of their plans, right? And he took himself out. That's fine. And the Sharks, we both agree the Sharks made the right call on that, right? William Eklund, an added Jenga piece that you didn't expect to have this year, but you still pulled him out. Kevin LeBanc, expected a big contribution from him, and he played terribly, was on the fourth line, and then he tore up his shoulder and taken out.
I always forget about Kevin LeBanc.
You're just losing a bunch of these guys who, and now Erik Karlsson and Jacob Middleton, who we'd even count on this year. You've lost him, and it's like you're losing pieces upon pieces, and at some point the tower just falls. Like you can't just keep taking these guys out, and this might just be that tipping point of not being able to come back. Every team has that tipping point where it's like you can only take so many injuries or so many guys coming out of the lineup before it just crumbles and falls. And and it's like we saw when Karlsson wasn't playing, when the Sharkcuda weren't playing, and they had to play Brent Burns and Mario Ferraro 30 minutes a night. And it's just like those guys that's just that wear and tear of having to play 30 minutes a night. And why are you playing them 30 minutes a night, especially what's going to probably end up being a lost season right now? And so, yeah, I think this is this Karlsson injury is going to be the tipping point for the Sharks.
Yeah, like you said, like it eventually the pieces are just going to fall, and the pieces aren't falling towards a playoff team. They're falling backwards, and it might just be prudent to play Merkley a million minutes, play Barabanov, Balcers, I guess.
Trade if somebody gives you the right offer for Barabanov, like you don't think he can help another team, and it's like, yeah,
for sure can. I think the Sharks are just weighing if he can help them in years
the future
to come.
But again, he's 28, right?
Yeah, he's also just a guy, like the guy that they randomly found. If you can turn him into something decent, you might as well. Like you can find.
Yeah, if you can basically, Antti Suomela into a 3rd round pick, basically that's what you're doing.
Yeah. So honestly, like if somebody wants Rudy, just trade Rudy. Who cares? Like none of these guys are just guys. The only guys I wouldn't trade are like Dahlin.
Who's going to be part of your next core, right? And even like it's another one too. What if somebody offers something for Reimer?
Yeah, who cares?
Like Edmonton, who's been bad with their goaltending. You don't think James Reimer could come in and solidify that?
The god Ben Gaudreau is coming. So anyway,
the Ben Gaudreau, yeah. We need to work on that one.
we gotta workshop it. Too many God references though. Remember we weren't allowed to do ad copy with God in it? That was funny. Anyway, what do you think the score of the game is gonna be?
I'll go 5-1 Caps.
I was gonna say 5-1 Caps. I'll say 5-1 Caps too.
But give me a Dahlin goal.
Dahlin scores for you. I'm gonna say Timo scores again.
The easiest.
Yeah, is
it Timo or is it Hertl today?
Yeah, pretty much. If you maybe the Lord, who knows? If you would like to talk to us on the internet and tell us what you think the score is going to be, you can do that. Locked on Sharks on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're active on all 3. Obviously, mostly on Twitter, but JD puts over work on the other 2, so you can always get a hold of us there. Email lockedonsharks@gmail.com. Thank you for your service. If you haven't emailed us, I think we got one, but I'm too lazy to open my phone. That's how much I respect the email.
It was a good email. You sent me a screenshot of this one. So.
Oh yeah, I think there's another one too. I forget. We'll read it tomorrow. YouTube, we our William Eklund interview is almost at 1,000 views, which is kind of weird. That 1,000 people have watched me doing my thing. Kind of strange. Maybe I like it. Who knows? You'll never know. Ask me. Slide into my DMs. But we're marching towards 550, marching towards 600, and ultimately 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe there. You don't even have to watch us there. You can just subscribe and never look at us. It's fine.
We do like you watching too.
No, I would prefer if you downloaded the episode. Or do both. Yeah.
Sync them up. You got to do like the people who watch the TV, but then like listen to the radio. Yeah.
Yeah. Do that.
Except for the YouTube is way shorter because you don't get as many ads.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Figure it out, guys. You're world bud. Do you. Amazon, Spotify, Apple, the usual places that you can hear us. JD is at my fry hole.
Kyle is at Kyle Demetrius. Thank you for making us your first listen. Go check out Locked On Bets. Go check out the Locked On Now they have on YouTube. So if you want to get like a nice little kind of crash course on what happened in the night before on the NHL. So it's kind of nice. All the hosts, they kind of do their little 1 minute kind of recaps of the game. So go check that out. And go check out Locked On Capitals. You want to learn more about the Capitals that they played tonight, or Locked On Panthers and Locked On Canes. If you want to hear about the Sharks' upcoming gauntlet that they face this weekend, or any other podcast that you prefer, like
Locked On Hornets.
Doug does the Locked On Hornets.
I don't know who Doug is.
Doug, the guy who runs the YouTube stuff.
Oh, that Doug.
That Doug.
I changed my mind. Go listen to Locked On Hornets.